What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Prospecting Buddies Digging Deeper podcast with special guest and personal badass, Mr. Rick Stash, with co-host Eero Bremer. What's going on, guys?
How's it going? Man. How's it going, gentlemen?
Oh, another day in paradise. You know how that works. I wouldn't call it quite paradise, but it's something along those lines. How are you doing, Rick? How you doing these days, man?
Yeah, I'm doing all right, man. You know, just waiting for the spring melt so we can get back up to the hills and get back to work. You know, as we get shut down because of the snow. Live up here in the mountains, so we got to do the best we can. We got some low areas we can work, but you know, our main bread and butter is up high. So just kind of redoing a bunch of gear and prepping for this upcoming season, and we're pretty stoked about what's ahead of us here.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, 2023 season, I think every single year we get to a point where we're like, we're going to hit it harder than we've ever hit. And like, it seems like that's what we do every year. You know what I mean?
Every year.
It's like, yeah, it's like, I got this new mat and this piece of equipment. We're going to, yeah, no, I love it, man. You always get those jitters in you, just patiently waiting for spring, you know, or some decent temperature where you can go out there and enjoy yourself. Not only camping, but prospecting, you know what I mean? But first and foremost, let's give a couple of shout outs real quick to all the fan bam that we have here. I got 2 different screens, 3 different freaking windows popped up here. Let's give some love to the PB family first and foremost. So we got, let's see here. We got Jim McIntyre in the building from Cottonwood Trails Gold Camp. It's good to see you here this evening. We got Mr. Chris Hayes, Chuck Bauer, Rob McGuire, all the PB fan bam, Tina Williams. We got Jeff King in the building. We got Alan Barnett, Mr. Jason Wiggins. Heck yeah. Well, I appreciate you guys jumping in. And this is, we're trying to kick back off the Digging Deeper podcast. And we're going to be hitting the hills running as fast as we can with these. We're going to be cranking them out left and right. But anyways, first and foremost, so usually our most famous question that we ask Rick, and obviously you know this.
Oh boy!
But I'm gonna turn things up a little bit.
All right, give it to me.
First and foremost, you went live. How did that? Like, what was kind of like going through your mind, wanting to go live and discuss everything that you discussed? I mean, personally, I jumped on and I freaking loved everything that you brought to the table when you were explaining the mats, you know, flow rate, angle, the whole works. I mean, what has been kind of brought up to you for you to be able to share your knowledge and pass your knowledge along to other people and go live?
Well, the thing is I've got so much knowledge that I've gathered throughout the several, you know, few years of me prospecting, learning from folks like, you know, everybody here in Prospecting Buddies. You know, I watched a lot of the Dan Hurd videos, Pioneer Polys. Like, I'm like huge fan. All, you know, just like everybody else, you know, watch the Gold Rush shows, but I have different thoughts on how things are played out. But the main thing is I have the capability to be able to run the different products in a, you know, in a creek or in a stream. I've got stations here at the house that I do a lot of my testing over and over and over, and I push them to the limits, you know. And it's when I look at a product or research a product to invest into or switch to, I've always done as much research as possible before I get the product, so that I have an idea of what other people have done and what.
Kind of what to expect.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I'm the type of person that I've got to see it for myself. I'm a hands-on guy.
I agree.
You
I
know,
agree.
you could read something or
Or
listen to
watch
somebody
it,
talk,
but it
and
doesn't do you no good
it
until you
don't do you
physically.
no good unless you see it for yourself.
Yep, I agree. I agree.
So so I just been kind of, watching the community and going, hey, I've got a lot that I could actually share with other new prospectors or older prospectors, and kind of be part of um, helping out the community to better. Because if you could become better, I could become better off of you becoming better. And
Agreed. Agreed.
kind of getting that step into doing the lives and jumping on some podcasts. It's getting me to open up more instead of just being closed
Shutting
up.
down
Oh,
and
I
closed.
dig,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
just being more a part of the community is kind of big for me. It's a big change, and I think that it's worth it to me. And like I said, I want everybody else to, be more successful at finding gold, because I know how difficult it is to find gold, especially in Washington State.
Right. I couldn't agree with you
Well, you do
more.
better than most, at
Yeah.
least than most of the
It is
newbies,
hard,
You
man.
yeah, you do a good job though, man. And the biggest thing is too is a lot of people in the real world and in social media respect the hell out of you. And with you being able to jump on lives and take that time out of your day to be able to help a man, like you don't truly like appreciate that until you meet up with someone and they say, hey man, like I appreciate what you're doing, I appreciate who you are and
Yep.
what you've brought to the community. Like that's when you get that bread and butter feeling, like, oh wow, okay, well what I am doing is making a change. And I want to keep continuing to do that. So yeah, when I saw you wanting to go live, man, I was pretty damn excited. I was, hell yeah, I'm jumping on there. I'm going to see what he has to say.
Right. I didn't get here just doing it by myself. It
Right.
took me, contacting people and people taking their time out of their day to help me with questions and trying to figure out solutions, or figuring out this gear or that gear. It it's been a big part of my small career of prospecting and mining. It's just um, other people helping me become who I am, and it's been a
I
huge
agree.
inspiration.
I agree, man. Before I was into prospecting, I mean, shit, dude. I mean, I couldn't tell you how different I am today versus who I was then before I actually went out prospecting.
Hmm.
Because, like I've said in all the podcasts, multiple podcasts, I always went out camping,
Yeah.
fishing, hiking, hunting, whatever you name it.
Yep.
But I never brought a pan with me. And then the second I got introduced into that and started meeting all these different walks of life, it's like, wow, like this person has an insane ass story to tell. And like, I thought I
Hmm.
had it bad in this situation or that situation. And this person had it, 100 times worse and they still persevered. You know what I
Right.
mean? So, yeah, I think you take a little bit from the community and it changes you in such a positive way, especially meeting new people and bringing those people into your life and who you are and what you do day to day, and month to month, year to year. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
it's awesome to be able to see you starting to come out of the woodworks, man. I mean, I think we're all excited as hell. And what's funny is we've already had a couple comments. I think from Mr. MVP himself. He says, I love Rick's videos. So
Thank you, buddy.
we also have a question here from Mr. Jason Wiggins. He says, question from my man Rick Stash. He said, would you ever consider working with Emily Rydell on the erotica at the Bering Sea? That's wow, Jason. That's out there, but okay.
Well,
We're running and gunning. We're running
all
and
right,
gunning,
so-
boys and girls. We're running and gunning.
all
Damn
right,
that
so
autocorrect.
I don't personally, I don't know if that's my type of people. I love what they're doing. I support them. I follow them. I talk to them online. I just don't know if I could work with them, you know, to be
Well,
serious.
Yeah, well, and that's
I might fall more into the line of maybe like the rougher group, maybe like Chris Kelly. Like I'd probably get along with those guys.
yeah.
They're strugglers. They work extremely hard to get where they're at now, and you could see from years ago where they started and their struggles and how they changed their attitude and their mentality and just kept pushing forward, and nothing's going to stop them from accomplishing their goals. And look at them now. They're, right alongside, Sean. And they're getting it. So,
well, that boils down to perseverance and attitude. You've seen time and time again, even if it is a mass produced show, you still see time and time again different people's attitudes, and it inflicts the end goal in which they're trying to do. And honestly, I couldn't answer that question for you, but I already had quite the answer in my head. You're the type of guy that's rugged and you're very preserved on what you do and how you do things, and very methodical. You know what I mean? And in that kind of situation, Jason Wiggins, I'd have to say a big no on that.
Yeah.
for Mr. Rick.
Maybe for a visit and go check it out, but I don't think that I would actually fit well on their crew.
Yep.
But I would just say it probably depends on the gold.
You're pulling in ounces a day, man. Well, I
might have a change of mind.
I might be able to deal with her. I mean, yeah, no. So anyway,
my bullshit tolerance just went up.
Yeah, it always depends on the situation, doesn't it?
Gold does funny things to people.
Yeah, that's for sure. Let's see. It looks like we had another question. Let me see if I can pop it up here on the El Screeno. Evergreen Prospector says, what part of Washington is Rick in? What part of Washington you in, brother?
I am very far north.
Eero, what does this do? Anybody? He's just up that way.
He's Upper Washington.
He's up that way.
Yeah,
he's in the mountains.
Yeah, I live kind of just southeast of Mount Baker, off of it's pretty much in the Cascade Mountain Range up north there. If I give too much locations, I'll have 50 people following me, and I'll have more troubles. I've had that before. But
yeah, that's the funny thing too, is like that we kind of
I became your friend.
Yeah.
Hey,
Eero just follows me everywhere.
What are you doing this weekend? Oh, that's funny. No, that's the funny thing with like the group digs. You learn as you go, right, Rick? You learn as you go. Do. This whole since the creation. I think oh no, he's back. He's back. All right, you popped out for a second there.
Oh yeah, it looked like it froze up.
No, you're good. Looks like we got you again. But no, like I said, man, I mean, in the creation with PB, it was like, there was a lot of different shit that we didn't know what, was going to happen negatively or positively. And that's the same thing with like creating friends.
Yeah.
You don't know if they're going to dig your hole. I mean, that's something that you're going to end up experiencing positively where they don't dig your hole, or negatively where you go in your hole's dug. That's what, And with PB, it's like, dude, it's the same situation. We've had situations time and time again where we're like, okay, well, this person doesn't want to give out an easy way to get to this place. So how do we make it a group dig without giving too much information away? And
Yeah.
so there's been a couple times where we just were like, yeah, we can't do it. There's just no way. And then there's other times where we had one group dig where it was GPS coordinates. And I'm like, well, for the newbies, they probably have never used a GPS. They probably don't know what they're doing, and they probably don't want to risk driving out in the middle. You know what I mean? So it's the same thing with friendships. You know, it's kind of a road that you navigate and you kind of get a feeler for. And, you know, majority of the time, the people in the prospecting community are very positive and respectful folks. And then you have the other folks that are just money hungry, leeching, whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? So yeah. So of course Dave has to jump on. Hope no one digs my hole. I hope they don't either.
It does happen. It does happen.
Oh, Dave. Oh man, I love that guy. Now, but anyways, aside from that, moving on forward here. One of the other big questions I did want to ask was, you know, and I'm going to bring us back to the original question, where did you first start in prospecting? But I still have a couple more really juicy questions that I want to throw on the table there.
All right.
As far as the club meetings go and things like that, when you started first getting your feelers in with the club meetings, for anybody watching that, hasn't been to a club or has been pondering on getting to a club meeting and things like that and joining a club, Rick, I kind of want you to explain a little bit, kind of how that goes and how you felt when you first went to your first couple of club meetings. You know what I mean?
Okay, so I prospected for a few years, you know, just doing my own thing. Matter of fact, you know, that's how I met Eero, was actually an invitation through Brett Foley, that's on the other side of the mountains from me. And it was on WPMA claims, Washington Prospectors Mining Association.
Right.
So for the rest of that year, I never even went to a meeting, didn't know anything, and I was wondering why there isn't group digs, nothing like that. I went to the gold show that they put on. I thought that was really awesome, and it kind of opened me up a little bit, going, wow, there is actually a lot more of us out here. And so the group club meetings, to me, I feel is a very good way to connect with local miners and prospectors, you know, throughout the area, and people that's got a lot more information or knowledge in areas that you may want to go and work, where they're no longer able to get to those areas, you know, for, you know, whatever reasons it is.
Right.
There's a lot you can actually learn through the clubs that you just can't get through, you know, just researching something online.
Yeah, your own research, your own
Because a lot of this knowledge and information in the mining community and in these clubs are kept really, really tight. They're not going to just give that out.
Right, I agree.
You start showing up to these clubs and start meeting folks and start understanding, hey, you know, these guys are like, these are my people. And you'll start to get a little bit more feedback, a lot more information. And, you know, it just goes back to, you know, it helps you, it helps them, and you know, you guys could, you know, help each other become better. And after doing so and going to the meetings and doing the club stuff, it's really changed how I prospect or you know, do things today. It's really made a big difference.
That's good, man. I mean, being able to share knowledge and receive knowledge is one of the most powerful things in life, to be honest. You know, any knowledge is good knowledge. you know, whether it's negative or positive, any knowledge is good knowledge, and that's gonna help you on forward with your path in prospecting and mining. You know what I mean? So being able to get to a club and kind of understand where they come from and what they got going on, and claims access and things like that, I think that really gets your foot wet in such a great way to where, hey, if you don't want to go and be in the club anymore, you have enough knowledge to go out on your own, that's fine. But joining a club and really understanding how these things work and claims and paperwork and you know, it's just such a great thing for the new prospector to go and do. I mean, I can't say it enough. I mean,
you know,
so it's,
you know, that you've been around for a little while now. I mean, obviously Washington longer than I have, but the thing I notice is you're a really solid outdoorsman, and you know, I don't think people understand how far that you are have pan willing to travel kind of attitude. You know, I mean, you know, that with the day we met, you know, it was 7 miles round trip and down into a steep canyon. And is there any advice you have for, you know, the newer people to the prospecting world, or the people who want to venture out into the more desolate, remote areas? You know, is there any advice on not just the prospecting, but the trip itself?
Well, there is such thing as over preparing, and under preparing. For new prospectors, you know, I would highly suggest, you know, to, you know, bring some buddies. You know, we do have a lot of predators up in the area, you know, with wolves, grizzlies, a lot of cougar, stuff like that. So you need that extra, you know, eyes looking around. Say you get hurt up in a canyon, there's no phone service whatsoever. You get hurt up there, nobody's going to find you, and nobody's coming to look for you up there either. They don't even know where you're at. So like you've got to really kind of think about what your limits are and what your capabilities are, and don't take it lightly. I've been in situations where I just stopped and I turned around and hiked all the way back out because, you know, pouring down rain. Well, if I got to climb down through these rocks and I make one slip, well, several hundred feet down is the bottom. And it's not worth it, you know, to, you know, make those mistakes and take those chances. So it pretty much, you know, just, you got to mentally and physically prepare yourself, to, you know, before you go into situations like this. It's, yeah, I don't really know.
I think a lot of,
but what's the bonus of that though? I mean, because it is a very hectic and true adventure in, but what's the bonus of that? What, I mean,
Well,
the further you go, the better the gold, right?
well, that is mostly true. Mostly true. The gold will be better the farther out you go. The farther in you go, get deeper up in those canyons. You're gonna start to realize, you know, a change in the minerals and the landscape. You're gonna run into waterfalls and views that um, average people will overlook. They won't even know it's there. And for you to push yourself to get to these areas, there's nothing like it. There's places that I wish that I had a nice camera or this or that back then, because before I got into prospecting, I did a lot of hunting and hiking. So I hiked all these hills before I even thought about picking up a pan. It's just kind of later on in life, it kind of brought the two together. But yeah, you know,
we got a comment here that I definitely got to put on. Let's see if I can find it real quick. I think every single one of us says the same freaking thing. want to say F my job and prospect full time.
No doubt.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's something that it's not suggestible. It's not. you, you- don't do it. Don't do it. If it becomes something, for you later on in life or whatever, those opportunities, the doors will open. If it's the right time and place, then yeah, go for it, and you're gonna know it when it does happen. Um, but even for myself, I'm not fully there. I'm still taking those steps, and you know, you've got to be focused, and you got to really want it. Um, it's a lot of hard work. It takes a lot of your time. Um, it's
No, it's definitely not for the faint of heart, first and foremost. Secondly, if you look at all the gold rushes that happened way back in the day, one of the most famous gold rushes, 3% of the entire populace that went to this one specific area, mind you, traveled hundreds of miles, 3% ever struck it rich.
yeah.
3%.
Hmm.
So, and
Not
that's
very
back,
good.
and that's back in the day where the
Those
world
were the first people
population,
who showed up. They picked up all the gold and
the
everybody.
potato nuggets, and ran for the hills. Yeah, exactly. No, we got a few more comments here. Mr. Jim McIntyre says, "And don't build your camp in a floodplain. I've rebuilt this place way too many times."
Yeah, definitely
Rick
don't
doesn't
build
know
your
anything
camp
about
down in
that.
there in the bottom. You want to
Oh,
get it
man.
up on the benches. So during the high water time, when we got the melt, that's the perfect time to get out, get boots on the ground, start prepping for your seasons, figure out where those high water marks are, the new changes, and keep going up there until that water drops back down, and you're going to find some really impressive areas. But start with the high water, and time it just right.
Yeah.
You'll do good.
Well, so another thing I wanted to ask, kind of shifting gears, as far as prospecting goes and whatnot. So once you got your hand in there, Rick, and you decided, hey, you know what, I want to do this. I get out there as much as I can. What would you say helped you the most, find an actual successful place? Was it your own research? Was it you going out and taking multiple trips over the weekends or during the week? Was it um, you kind of trying to figure out the type of ground you have, what to look for, what not to look for? What was kind of the pointers you kind of had to get you to a point where, okay, I know what I'm doing now, and I know where I can go to get gold? What were some of the things you kind of went through to try to figure that out? Because I think a lot of new prospectors, they'll go and spend, $400 or $500 on equipment and read the rules, the regs, blah, 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 but they'll go out somewhere and they'll still have such a tough time. What can you recommend for any of the new timers? And obviously it varies state by state with soil and creek, this, that, and the other. But as a general description, what could you give if I was a newcomer and I came to you and I said, Rick, when you go out digging, what are some of the things you look for? What are some of the things that you do pre-planning before you go out to a new spot? What would you tell me?
Okay, so first off, what I would do is I would research online and look for the oldest maps possible. Figure out where they logged, where they mined back 100 years ago. Um, look on the Google Earth. Okay, so is that stream? Is it a side stream? Is it a main stream? What's the contributaries to that stream? What's the elevations of those streams? What's the mountain made of? Is it granite? Is it is it a lot of quartz up there? Is it shale? There's actually quite a bit that you kind of look at before actually going out to the field. Is there big corners? Is there waterfalls?
Right.
What's the difference in the drop from up above and where it is down in the lower. And I would start off by starting at the bottom and find the best corners. And I would start at the inside corner, and then I would go to the outside corner. On the outside corners, I generally like to work it a little higher, meaning higher up on the bench. And that generally has a lot of the older gold. The inside corners is always going to have some sort of a wash or change, so many years, especially in Washington. If it rains, it's pretty much going to move a lot of the material from those bars and put it somewhere else downstream. And
Right,
just start
right.
from there and just keep going up, and get as far up there as possible. Get up into those valleys, and not all of the gold is going to be down deep. I do dig big, deep holes, and we do pretty well. But
Yeah.
majority of the gold is actually in shallow areas, on top of bedrock, or the pay might only be in the 1 foot. It might not even be down below that. So don't just dig anywhere. I would test it, but I don't throw a sluice down unless I'm seeing 25 to 50 pieces.
Yeah.
If I'm
Yeah.
seeing that, then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna run this. But look for heavy materials. Hematite, magnetic, any sort of hard, material.
Ironstone.
Yeah, ironstone. There's a lot of jade. There's a lot of different minerals that are associated in the gold streams. See, so I know a lot of guys say, well, go to where the black sands are. Well, that's not always the case in Washington.
Right. Right.
The black sands are nice. You're gonna see, quite a bit of gold, but there's areas that I dig that I might get a teaspoon of black sands out of the entire day digging. Um, and there's hardly any black sands whatsoever, but it's really chunky gold.
Right. Right. Yeah, we have a few comments here. We'll run through real quick. They're kind of flooded in. It looks like Robert A. Sepulveda, I hope I pronounced that right, says, where can you prospect in Tennessee? Well, first and foremost, my man, if you're not joined on the www.prospectingbuddy.org, you jump on there and you can get linked up into people that are in the state of Tennessee on our page. You'll find someone in Tennessee to be able to dig with. Or if there's nothing over there in Tennessee, if you have states that are nearby, join those states. You'll find people in those states. www.prospectingbuddy.org. Another comment here says, buried in snow over here, but one has to dream, right? Those who struck it were rich were those who had the stores and sold the miners' equipments. Facts. I cannot agree with you more. If you looked at the cost of living, pair of denim jeans cost more than an ounce of gold.
Yep.
Your shovel costs more than an ounce of gold. I mean, I can go on and on and on. Back in those days, equipment was scarce. It was hard to come by. So, yeah, to be able to strike it rich back then is 10 times harder than it is these days. At least these days we have the technology in the family to be able to bring you on some good gold. Back in the day, that just wasn't the case.
That being said, certain rivers back in the day
was also loaded versus
you could just walk down, and a couple ounces at a time.
Yeah, no, I agree. And then we got another comment here. It says the majority of mines fail because lack of funds.
Yeah, they didn't have a lot of backup funds. Finding guys to go to work and stay at it. It was really hard back then. They suffered from, the winters were really, really hard. They get pushed out. There wasn't a lot of food source up in those areas. That the lack of funds. the hygiene and the health back then wasn't as good as what we have today.
Yeah.
So it's they had it pretty rough back then.
Oh yeah. No, we have a few more comments here. Mr. Miner's Rule says Rick's stash is definitely a rare miner. Not many of us travel that hard road. 100%.
Definitely.
I agree. The first time I actually met Rick, I'm like, that's a mountain man. That's like a full definitive, like, if you want to learn how to build a freaking cabin in the back of the woods, you hit up Rick and he'll show you how it's done.
Yep. Yeah, you only need a couple supplies and you can build shelter and catch
Yep.
fish and survive and
Live off the land, man. That's
you
that's
can.
the good old American dream, to be honest.
Pretty fruitful here in Washington too.
Yeah, dude,
as far as that goes.
Yeah, I mean, even on my side of Washington State, going up to Sullivan Creek and panning that creek and in all the little areas up there, the old mill pond, and it's just phenomenal, man. I mean, it's just a whole different world than a lot of different places I've been to. Montana, beautiful, beautiful area. I mean, I could just lose track of time all day, every day. I mean, it's getting out and finding a place that's amazing, as amazing as the Pacific Northwest and in surrounding areas is just, man, it's breathtaking. We got a few more comments here. Mr. Evergreen Prospector says, best advice, subscribe to Prospecting Buddy. I appreciate that.
There you
brother.
go, buddy.
I can't.
We need to get him on here.
Can't
We
agree
need
more.
to get Evergreen Prospector on here.
Yeah,
Yep.
that'd be a great idea.
Get him on here. Yeah, because I wouldn't be where I am today in my prospecting world if it wasn't for Prospecting Buddies. I got in real early when it was formed, and I kind of sat back and watched, and then I was kind of closed in. I didn't open up or anything about mining or anything like that. It was always real closed, and I was at the point in my life where I was just really watching and trying to learn as much as possible. And I realized that, hey, this is actually a really great group of people. And that's what brought me meeting Eero, and went over and met James, and I went over and met Robert Burgess. Like now it's like I've got all these guys that that I used to watch on the computer or and now they're like they're like family to me, and it's just being part of the Prospecting Buddies just opens so many doors in the prospecting world for me. So if it wasn't for this Prospecting Buddies, I wouldn't be anywhere close to where I am today.
No, we appreciate that, man. I mean, the amount of people that I've met, and I mean, just the group digs we've had with kids that were that came with their parents at the group digs, and you see the pictures of the kids holding up a pan with gold and stuff like that, dude. That just like,
I love it.
I won, you know what I mean? Like that's my win, you know what I mean? And seeing the kids all happy as hell, and the parents are out there digging with the kids and the banker or whatever it is. Like one of my first go-arounds was me being invited through GPAA to go to an LDMA push dig, but it was GPAA, if that makes sense. So we were on LDMA land, and it was a 6-hour drive from here to Durkee, Oregon. And I had bought in the spots, and I didn't know anybody that was in prospecting. At the time, I was still a super beginner, and I contacted my buddy Darren, and Darren's never he don't know what the hell it is. He's never even heard about it. And I'm like, hey man, I'm traveling down to Oregon. You want to go check this place out and maybe have some fun? Dude, he dug 3 times as much dirt as I dug. I shit you not, dude, for 3 days straight. And he just could not get off of that banker box, dude. Like it was one of the most special moments in my life where I'm like, this is what I want to do as much as I can possibly do it all the time. And since then, like I've met just the most amazing freaking people. Mama Tina, we call her mom for the BB family. Eero and like we were talking about James, good brother of mine. I've met so many good people, man, and like that's where it's at. Meeting people, getting out there, talking to folks in the community, making what we have going on stronger by bringing people together.
Yeah.
That's that's the only way that we're going to keep this the future generations going and bringing new insight to what we're trying to do. You know what I mean? And just enjoy it. Like, even if you're not trying to make it a job or a career, like, enjoy it. You're already out there. Everybody's already out there camping. Bring a pan with you. Make it that much more fun, that much more exciting. Like, that's what it boils down to, So, yeah, I'm trying to keep up with the comments. I'm really trying, but we got 76 people on the live stream right now. I'm trying my best. I'm trying my best here. Let's see. I'm
relying on you guys. I can't see the chat today.
Let's see. He says, want to go to Maine? Most about 3 inches of stone. Hard to shovel. How do you move them? Muscle and grit, my man. Muscle and grit.
A lot of muscle and grit. Get a really strong shovel that don't break. You need, big bars, and bring people like Eero, because I can't move all the big rocks.
Yeah.
We have another one.
I was just going to say the thing. Bring your strong buddies who get it.
Yep.
Let's see. We got another one from Danny Franks. I'm trying to find it on this side of the spectrum here. But I think this one here, we'll go ahead and answer that. Let's see. Holy crap. The comments are just rolling through. Give me just 0.2 seconds. Oh, here we go. So hopefully, Danny, this situates the question here. What was your best day prospecting? So Rick, we're going to start with you first, Eero, and then we'll roll it my way.
Okay, so my best day prospecting. I don't know if it would be the outcome of the gold or what. My very first time going out with the pan and finding gold in a pan. That was like an awesome part of my prospecting career. But my best day prospecting was actually on a camp out that we did up at our group claims. Eero was there, Travis was there, Leah was there. We had a guest Colin. We really tore it up. I ventured away and I got on the other side of the creek and tapped into this new area, and we realized that there was some really, really nice gold there. Like, yeah, Eero was losing his mind because he's been looking at this bar that he calls the Cougar Bar. He's been looking at this bar for several years. And I finally was like, I'm heading over there. I get over there, the water's blowing up.
One time a year.
Yeah. And we dug our butts off, and I was so surprised. I've got pictures of it actually. And when I got home and I separated all the gold out from the black sands and weighed it up, put it on the scale, it was at 3.44 grams. And I was like,
yep. And that's just river sluicing, right?
Yeah, that was just in a river sluice, in a dream mat. It was in the combo mat actually, and that was the first trip that I actually took it up to the claims to work with it, besides a couple lowland rivers. So I was able to kind of push it and see, is it going to handle what I want it to do? And surprisingly, it outperformed a lot of different units. We just had such a great time. We all got pickers that trip. We got, everybody got like their record. It was huge. So we're like, okay, don't tell nobody. I'm like, don't tell anybody.
Yeah, you don't tell a soul that we found this much.
But yeah, we're gonna go back up there. We want to do a lot more work on that place, and you know, get more of the club involved, and you know, do more work, and hopefully get some, you know, some group digs going, get more of the younger generation out. I know that we got some new members that are younger. We're gonna get them out, get them fresh start, and yeah, it's,
No,
you
that's
know,
awesome, man. That's absolutely badass. I mean, first and foremost, when you find that much gold river sluicing, it makes you kind of wonder, how much more is in this damn river? How much
Oh
more can
well.
I? It's like
I
that's
had some bad thoughts because there's things that they won't let me do here in Washington anymore, and yeah,
I
I was
can't agree with you more on that.
like,
I can't.
I don't
yeah,
know.
it's
We're gonna go explore that, that whole bench a little more this summer. Maybe we can get up out of that high water mark, and then what are they gonna do? What are you gonna do
yeah.
about it?
There's nothing they can't tell me what to do. It's I don't.
So if you're watching WDFW and all the other subsidiaries, we're just going up there to camp, okay? So with that
Yeah, I
being
like to camp,
said,
look at the water.
Errol, what was your best gold day, man?
That same day.
Was it really?
Yeah,
That's
I
awesome.
didn't get near as much. I ran 30 buckets, but I was a little lower in the bar and specifically looking for bigger gold because that's just not something I'm used to. I'm used to a lot of the high water flood gold. You can find good deposits on that. So, but this is a smaller river, so better chance of finding bigger stuff. And yeah, I'd been looking across to the Cougar Bar
How the hell
for
did you
some
even come
time.
up with that name? Like, what the hell?
I don't know. It just
That's
kind
the
of
Cougar
evolved.
Bar right there,
Right
Rick.
there.
That's it's gonna
Yeah.
keep producing.
And
Yep, it's gonna
yeah,
keep producing.
yeah, oh yeah, I'm sure it is.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
I
We
wasn't
got
sure
up.
if you're. I wasn't sure if you're getting gold over there or if you're taking a nap because I seen you laying down a lot.
Oh, let's not bring up
Oh,
those. Let's not bring
Oh
those
yeah,
up.
yeah. I follow.
He's over there laying on a rock feeding his sluice, and I'm like,
It
what
was
is this guy
perfect.
doing?
I'm sitting here talking to this guy on our 9-day road trip. Full blown conversation, dude. Like talking about this and what we're gonna do. And I look over and he's like full blown conversation. And this happened like 5 times. And at that point in time,
Dude.
I just gave him 1-word answers until we got to the place because I'm like, this dude's just gonna pass out every time.
I can't help it. I can't help it.
And he's just
If I'm not
out.
like road tripping, 3 hours, 4 hours into it, you're not driving, and if nothing's going on, you're just.
I got so many pictures.
Yep.
I could probably
I know it's not
print
even
out
funny.
an album.
I can't wait for this road trip because now I know I know what games are being played, so I can participate.
Yeah, that road trip was a lot of fun. We had a blast.
Right.
We got some more questions here. Mr. MVP himself says, "What is the longest trip Rick has took in the woods? One spot."
The longest? Prospecting or just hiking?
Probably
Yeah,
prospecting.
with the amount of
Prospecting.
comments, I'm assuming prospecting.
Well, I got pictures on the phone. Actually, I was up there kind of scoping out some other claims up above ours, and I looked at my Onyx and didn't realize that I was about a mile away from an area that would pretty much drop me off into a whole nother area on the east side of the mountains. And I was close to 14 miles in there by the time I realized that I still got to hike back out of here. So yeah, you only get so much daylight over here in the mountains. Yeah, so I would say it was roughly 12 to 14 miles one way. So, I do a lot of hiking. I used to do a lot of bear hunting, a lot of alpine hiking, packing all my gear. I'll stay for 3-4 days a week. Sometimes there's buddies with me, sometimes not. Um, but I'm not gonna wait around for somebody not to show up. I'm gonna go. It's just, you got to do it when you want it. You got, it's my legend, it's my life. I'm gonna live it the best I can. So I go for it. I like seeing things. I like to be able to separate myself from this freaking crazy world that's happening. I like to be able to, get it off of me. And
Get as much as get as much as you can in with the time you have on this earth.
yeah,
Especially up here in Pacific Northwest, but specifically North Washington.
Yeah.
You get back there and some places. I've stumbled across a couple places with Rick and a few other guys that you're like, National Geographic ain't got shit on this.
yeah, yeah. If they only had a clue.
Yeah.
Right. No, that's for sure. We got a few more comments, then we're gonna get back on the questions from Mr. Rick Stash. Alan Barnett, he was talking about when we were speaking on Eero's nappy poos throughout the whole trip. He says it's a blessing. Wake me when we get there. Yeah, that's his mentality. That's Eero's mentality to a T.
I mean, it's not totally that way, but
wake up for a gas station break, a piss break, and some food, and then he's back out 10 minutes later.
Is that gasoline I smell? I gotta pee.
Yeah. Nate Garvine said, hopefully I pronounced that right. He says, my best spot is once a year spot, but 5 grams and 2 hours of sluicing. Super grizzly country. That's awesome, man. That's absolutely badass.
That's good digging there.
Yeah,
for 2 hours. Yeah, that's real good digging.
Yeah, definitely. That's for sure.
That's a place that I would drop my hide anchor in and get to work.
Yeah, Rick could make a living off that.
Easy.
And then Mr. Dennis Hedrick in the building. He says near my place near Republic, Washington. So that's something we want to talk about with the whole good old $3 billion gold find. We're going to talk about that here later in the podcast. We also have a little bit of a giveaway to do, something very small and minor, just to give back to you guys, of course. It's how we like to do it over here in PB. Let's see. We got another one here. Says, thanks for the invite to view. Just started getting into prospecting last year and still pretty green. My oldest daughter loves being out there with me. Best advice, go as much as you can.
Yep.
Like take the time off and just get out there and do it. Just don't worry about what it costs. If your kiddo loves to do it, that's huge. That's such a phenomenal bonding moment for you and your kiddo to be able to make memories. So I love being able to see that comment. My best advice, get out there as much as you can and just inhale it and love it and enjoy the hell out of it. Let's see here. Got another comment. My claim right now has 4 feet of snow and a 10-foot drift of snow. I'm sorry. Wow. Holy crap.
Yeah, the struggle's real right now. We're hoping for spring quick.
Yeah. Wow. That is.
We're pretty lucky here, though, to be honest, for gold mining. I mean, because there's still a lot of places to go and find gold without snow this time of year.
Yeah. We got another comment here. I'm old and broken. LOL. What areas do you recommend? Well, first and foremost, what state do you live in? If we don't get a comment back that tells us what state you live in, like we said earlier in the podcast, go to www.prospectingbuddy.org. Whatever state that you live in, you'll see our state list. You'll have multiple different states where you could join, and once you join and sign up for the website, you'll be able to see all those folks in your states that you can personally message to go out digging with right on our website, absolutely free. So hopefully that answers that. Let's see here. So we're going to do one more comment, and then we're going to keep rocking and rolling here. Let's pick a good one here. We're gonna shout out to someone who we've seen across social media, Mr. Rick and Eero. Jordan Perkin, you should go live with these guys. Well, now that we called you out, I hope that we're gonna have you on the podcast here in the next few weeks.
Good old buddy Jordan.
Yeah. So with that being said, let's get back down to the nitty gritty. Prospecting equipment, man. When you were getting out there, starting to get things rocking and rolling, I'm sure you spent money that is now sitting in a garage somewhere, in a shop somewhere. What would you recommend? And of course, this is always a great line with the PB family. There's other folks that like the riffles, and there's other folks that like this, that, and the other. Blah 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 blah.
Yep.
For Rick Stash,
Mhm.
what would you recommend to get out and use as a first timer to get you on the gold?
All right. So as a first timer, with very little money to throw towards it, I would suggest get yourself, a decent pan. A small pan, you're not going to be able to run a lot of material. So I personally like to use the 14-inch Garrett Super Sluice pan. Hands down, that's my favorite pan. So pan, get yourself some sort of a kitchen strainer or some sort of a classifier. They're really easy to kind of put together if you don't have something. A basic little sluice, so that you could, run some material. Making your own sluice box. I think everybody should actually start by making their own sluice box so that they understand the concept of how it's built and how it actually works, and then go from there and go, okay, well, now I want to think about this brand or that brand before you start dumping loads and loads of money in. That's where I was kind of at in my early part of prospecting. I didn't throw a lot of money into it. It was quite a while before I actually got my very first real sluice. My fiance surprised me for Christmas. She bought me the A51, and I literally unwrapped that thing. I was like, okay, bye, and I was off at the creek, and I dug and dug and dug, and and it started an animal in me. So yeah, just start simple, start small, and figure out, the concept of, what materials to run, how you're running it.
Right.
And then, you'll be able to know your capabilities as far as, do I want a bigger box? Do I want this? Or, don't just go out there and go, oh, well, I just learned how to prospect, or I'm looking at prospecting and buy a dredge or a huge high banker or something like that. Just start small, get used to your equipment, and go from there, because, I made my very first sluice, and I ran that and packed that thing around, and it probably weighs 40 freaking pounds. It's heavy. And it's not something that you can easily clean out. It doesn't come apart. So I'm sure there's still gold stuck in it. But just start simple, and get out there with some buddies and guys that has got, the equipment and all that. A lot of us has got extra gear. Well, we got loaner gear. We can loan you, so you can check out, the different products and different sluices, and
something you like, something you don't like.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and it's good to learn how to use them all, so it gives you a better understanding of the way gold drops and the different scenarios you can create in a catch system to do that.
I agree. We have a few.
I'm a Dream Mat guy for sure, but I will tell you, I like watching riffles. There's
multiple pieces of equipment out there. The McCurk, that's a good one. We get a comment here from Mr. Goldhound himself, says, get a Goldhound for quick results. We got the let's see, we got another one that popped in here. I know I saw it, the A52, the good old classic A52.
Yeah, that it's a great starter, for somebody that's, looking to, get their first sluice, kind of figure out the concept. And myself, I struggled with it because I like to run a lot of material. So it just wasn't really working for me. So
Yeah.
that's why I stripped everything out and built my own little plate and bought some dream mats, and from there it just went into bigger and better results. It's just completely changed everything.
Well, and the funny thing is too, Rick, is I have some good friends that are back east, and they swear by multiple different brands. They swear by Dream Mat. They swear by Gold Hog. They swear
Yep.
by, and my best piece of advice to like anyone that's going out there is get a feeler for it. You
Yeah.
might spend a little bit of extra money trying to figure out what works best for you with the material you have.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's going to have something different that works really, really, really good for them, and they're going to stick by it. And I applaud those people, because if this works for you, stick with it. If this works for you, stick with it.
Yep.
Don't sit here and continuously spend so much money where now you have stuff sitting around in your garage that your wife's yelling at you about. You know what I mean? Buy something. Do your first and foremost, do your research. Secondly, find a piece of equipment that you feel super confident in. Buy
Mm-hmm.
that piece of equipment and go try it out. And if it works for you, then hold on to that and work that material as best as you can. Everybody uses something differently, and I applaud every single person to always use what works for them. I never say, well, you've been doing this for 15 years. Let's switch up everything you're doing and try this just because of this. No, if it's working for you, you're happy with it, you're content, you enjoy what you do, you know how your equipment works through and through, stick to it. And don't worry about what anybody else says. That's
exactly
God's honest truth.
Exactly. I'll be down there with my dream mats, and the best buddies of mine, they're so stuck on the keen engineering, and it works. I think it's just, in my personal opinion, it's just, it doesn't work for me.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. Just like, it's funny, miners rule. This guy, oh my gosh,
they're all gonna catch gold. They're all, it's just personal preferences,
right.
and what you're looking at for, what, cons and
What works best for you
recoveries.
with the material you're running, right?
Yeah.
Miners rule says, that's me, but I'm an equipment junkie. Mind you, when I first started, I was an equipment junkie too. So I spent more money than I should have spent, but at the same time, being able to go in my garage and see all the different doohickeys and bells and whistles, it's agreed. A lot of people do that same thing, and there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah,
And
there's nothing wrong with it.
And just like Rick said, when you're out somewhere and you're prospecting with someone, you have extra equipment for them to be able to test out for themselves and enjoy. So if you buy extra equipment, don't beat yourself up. You just have extra equipment for that next person you're going to meet that they can go and try out and enjoy themselves. So,
well, to be fair, you've got a lot of sluice boxes. You probably got a different, lot of water flow scenarios that you deal with, and different sluices work better in different situations. It's just best tool for the job kind of attitude.
Well, exactly. When you got your smaller sluices, medium-sized sluices, your larger sluices, the different mats, the whatever equipment that you have in those sluices, it all varies. It's like me, it's like horrible as far as like the amount of gear that I've gathered up throughout the years. to me, it's like I can't get rid of it really, or just toss it out because I'm like, well, I could use it for this place because, or that flow, or So I got 20 sluices. I got all this gear and like,
Or during wintertime, you're like, well, I could build this or try this out and put this
yep,
together.
yeah. Or it's like I got oh well, so and so is
Yep.
just kind of starting out, or he's starting to modify his box now. Well, come on over to the shop. I've kind of picked through. There
Come
might be
pick your
something in there that I could
poison.
help you out with.
Yeah, come pick your poison and try this out or try that out. Yeah.
Yep.
We have a comment. Yeah, don't sluice in the tub. My wife hated it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I get in trouble all the time. She'll come home and I'll have a wash plant going on in the bathroom. What in the world are you doing?
Oh, I'm dying over here.
It's
I'm
cold
dying over here.
outside.
It's too damn cold, honey. I'll get the rocks out. There's a little screen down there. Relax.
Babe, it's exfoliation. Come on.
Add some lavender in there and she'll use it, I'm sure. Oh, that's too funny. Yeah, I mean, like I said, whatever works for you works for you. And I'm glad that you're able to explain that, Rick. Because I think a lot of people get that misconstrued and they say, well, if I buy this, then maybe that's how I'll catch gold. Or if I do this, you know what I mean? With certain pieces of equipment, I think we had a comment here. I don't know where the hell it went, but we had a comment that said, whatever works best for you with the stream flow, with the type of material, the area you're in. A lot of people don't really, that's just starting out. Excuse me. A lot of people that are just starting out really don't understand that material is different drastically per state. I mean, it really does vary. More black sand, less black sand, more pyrite, less pyrite, more quartz, less quartz. I mean, I can go on for days and days and days on the different type of material. It all boils down to the product that works really, really well for you. And yeah, you might spend a little bit of extra money, but the flip side of that and the positive note is now you have extra equipment for your best friend that you grew up with that's prospecting with you. Now they have something to be able to use while you're out there enjoying your time. So
yeah, to see somebody start experiencing with their different choices or setups, and watching them experience the struggles and the changes and the new ideas that I had, years ago, and seeing them go through that, it's kind of neat to actually see that, because they're learning too, and the main thing is everyone's out there to have fun. We're out there to we're out there to get some gold and stuff. But the main thing is we're out there to have fun and be out in the outdoors, and that's the main thing. You gotta remember that. Always have fun.
Well, and I agree. I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, at the end of the day, you're going out there to have what we call an adventure, and whether you go home with gold or not, you still strapped that sluice in that creek, didn't you?
Oh yeah,
of course you did. You threw that bad boy in that creek, and you threw some dirt through that bad boy. So at the end of the day, you still had fun. That's what I think a lot of people in the more experienced side of things, when you ask them, hey, how was the gold for the weekend? Well, it wasn't that good, but I caught a couple of brookies, and I caught a this and I caught a that, and you know what I mean. So at the end of the day, it's all about the adventure. I mean, we always say on the podcast, and you've seen to all of our podcasts, gold's the bonus. It'll always be the bonus.
Yeah.
It's never going to be. It's never going to be Gold Rush on Discovery Channel. It's never going to be, and for some people, it in a very rare chance. Who did we have on the podcast, Eero, not too long ago? Last year, what was his name? Him and his wife. I'm pretty sure you watched the podcast.
Oh.
Him and his wife lost their job.
Yukon Alley.
Yukon Alley.
No. It was what's his name over in Arizona. Him and his wife lost their jobs because of COVID.
Yeah.
And him and his son, so he went and bought a claim for him and his son just to screw around on. And when they lost their jobs, they were in an industry where it's not like they can go and get another job. because COVID at the time shut down a lot of facilities. And so he had a great idea, was like, hey, well, we have a gold claim over here, and let's go ahead and try and see what happens. Well, they ended up coming out with an annual income for 2 or 3 years. They had a lawnmower strapped to the top on the trommel. I mean, it was a whole insane idea, but they made it happen. And they survived through the whole freaking COVID situation for 2 or 3 years. And of course, the gold kind of dried up, and they were able to get back into the positions that they're in now, that they were in beforehand. But that doesn't happen every day. You can't just expect something like that to happen, but it does happen. There is a very rare few percentage, like we talked about earlier, 3% only struck it rich. Well, there's a very few percent in today's day and age where that same kind of thing happens. So, Fred Dickinson, thank you. Who said that?
That's who it is.
Who said that? Joe Hutchinson? Send me your address. You just won this, big dog. Send me your address.
Nice.
I got a couple of these bad boys to give away. There we go. Oh, look at that. Oh, my goodness gracious. Yeah, you just won that bad boy right there, right off the top of the gate. Bam. Send me your address, man. Yeah, Fred Dickinson. Cool guy, man. He came out with a water solution for the bigger mining companies to be able to use to clear up their water. That way dirt and debris wasn't pushing the gold out of the trap cells, and pretty crazy stuff. But anyways, let's flip back to what we were talking about. First and foremost, Rick, what can we look forward to? What can we look forward to with what you got going on with your lives and with the 2023 season?
Okay, so what I got going on here, this season we're kind of up in the game a little bit. I got a major area that Eero knows where I'm going. We're going to be doing a lot more exploration on that and trying to locate more of the old gold, the bigger gold, more chunky. We've got, a lot of work ahead of us on that. Also, we got the gold shows going on. We've got, I'm building a custom 3-inch dredge. So I've got some dredging to do over in Montana with some friends on their claims. So I get to go over there for a lot longer than I was this last year. This last year I only got 10 days over there. That's what we had. This time I'm going to be over there for roughly just shy of 2 months. So
wow.
I'm going to be able to get a lot of boots on the ground. I got to go and check out new areas. I'm checking out some claims over there. And also I'm going to get side by side with one of the coolest dudes around and do some dredging.
That's badass, man.
So yeah. So that's really big. I've got pretty much everything already built, just waiting for our dream match to show up, get that all locked in, do some tests and stuff beforehand. That way I'm not just going over there and have problems with the dredge or anything. It's going to be all tuned in,
ready to rock and roll, and plan A and plan B kind of deal.
Yep.
You gonna do anything with crystal mining or?
Yeah, so last year was really fun. I got into crystal mining with Max Larson and Michael Bailey. They've got some really cool adventures. I watched a lot of their stuff online. Michael Yeager, the crystal collector. I've been a huge fan of his, and recently I just got some crystal from him on his online show. So this year I'm going to be checking out some more of those, I guess, with them. Or I think they're going to get me into checking out some fluorite. crystals. Do some more of that. The quartz crystals that we did last year, that was something else. Michael asked me there at the clans, he's like, so what do you like better, crystal mining or gold mining? I was like, oh, hands down. I'm like, it's definitely gold mining, because I have, I get to see the results
The
pretty
mystical
quick.
question. Yeah.
But after 2 more trips out there, I started to question, well, I don't know. I kind of like crystal mining. It's really,
fun.
really nice.
Yeah.
This one here, I've got a little plate here.
Oh, wow.
It's hard to see with my lighting here. It's a small little plate. These are those scepters. These have a very light purple and pink. It's like what'd you call it? Like an
Go a
amethyst.
little higher. Go a little higher, Rick.
There we
Right
go.
there and the other way.
Sure.
There we go. Right there. Oh, I see my name on it and my address. You sending that to me, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So I got to do a lot of that. I had some friends and guests and stuff that got to go down there. They had their day fee, to go in there. We hike in the dark and we hike out at dark. And it was amazing. And I want to do a lot more of that. I got to connect with folks that have no interest in gold mining, but they're mining different minerals. And I learned a lot about the geology and what to look for. And my hat's off to them. Those guys bust their butts, and it is not easy where they go. It's not just shoveling dirt and finding stuff in the dirt. You're digging, you're screening, you're busting big old boulders out, and you're working all day just to get behind this big old rock that's built in there, and just to see if there's a big pocket, and I got to actually experience my first pocket this year.
That's awesome.
I seen those guys' pocket, and I actually got to crawl around in there like a cave.
They're like, Rick, go in. You're like the perfect guy.
Oh yeah, but yeah. So I actually got to open up and get my own experience in my first pocket, and that was really cool to see, like, thousands of crystals come out of this pocket.
That's insane. Wow.
Yeah. So
That is
here's another little amethyst like crystal.
dude, that is
There.
freaking sweet. Absolutely sweet.
Got lots of those. I've got let's see, more little quartz crystals. It's all backwards in my phone.
That's so awesome. Absolutely phenomenal, man.
Yeah.
If anybody didn't see the posts on it, he's just showing you a couple, and we're not really even seeing the amazing stuff that came out of there, and we're not even seeing the amount of stuff that came out of there. Well, maybe I spoke too soon.
This one,
yeah, you did. Holy shit!
I gotta wash this one up, but this actually came out of my first pocket that I found.
Wow.
There was massive amount of crystals just sitting in there, and I couldn't get in there to get my head to see what was going on, but I could feel something back in there, and it wasn't just crystals popping out freely, because I was just raking them out, putting them in a pile and going, come on guys, like, go through these, screen them, start putting them in the bucket, man.
Come on guys, let's go. There's tons in there.
And so I'm in there with my impact up, and I finally got this thing to pop out, and it was upside down, and so I was like, oh, I got it, and I pulled it out, and I was like, oh my gosh. So this is like the biggest cluster that I got out of there.
Creme de la creme, yeah.
To me, this is like one of those once in a lifetime things that just turned into something that I'm going to do a lot more. So yeah,
and it's one of those things that you kind of look at it and you're like, wow. I'm used to seeing that in rock shops,
it's really
pull
neat.
it out yourself is
Whole different ball game.
Well,
Whole different freaking ball game.
see, that's the thing is before doing this, I didn't know that, I knew that crystals grew that way. They're not just cut. They're naturally grown that way. There's several different forms that they grow also. And so I didn't know that they actually grew in clusters, and like there's like doubles, triples, sometimes there's forks, there's crosses. And another thing that was really cool is on the inside of a lot of these, they've got green rays, so it looks like grass up in the crystals. And some of them's got gold rays, or it looks like gold in the crystal inside of it. I don't think that I have any phantom, but they got like the UV rays in a lot of
That's
the.
so badass, man. I
So
mean, that's what's funny is a lot of us started as rock hounds.
yeah.
I if I turn my camera around, I finally got my display case done. Good friend of mine, Robert Lee, sent me a lot of his Alaska finds, where he goes up and some of the pieces that he sent me just absolutely blows my mind. I mean, aside from gold, finding other types of gems and minerals is just freaking absolutely awesome. I've yet to find any quartz cluster. And I hope that this 2023 season I can get into digging some of that. I know we have a smoky quartz claim here on my side of the state with a good friend of mine. I don't know if he wants me to say his name or not, but he owns some property where he goes up and digs, and he charges, I think it's like $25 or $30 or something.
Mm-hmm.
And you go home with some absolutely phenomenal smoky quartz. And so I'm definitely going to be jumping into different minerals and trying to bring home a lot more, because my display case is really awesome, has a lot of different really good freaking specimens, but the more the better. I mean, gold is awesome and phenomenal. I love finding it, but at the same time, like silver ore and big old fat chunk of pyrite running through one of the specimens I have. And it's phenomenal to be able to see what you can actually dig up yourself versus, like Eero said, you go to a rock shop or a gem and mineral shop and you're like, wow, that's cool. Well, when you dig it yourself, it's a whole different out of body
Same thing with pay dirt, though. Same thing with pay dirt.
It's hard to get rid of. Out of 3 trips that I made crystal mining this year, I had roughly 100 pounds of crystals. You know how hard that was for me to get rid of a lot of those. I did. So I did.
Away. What are we doing here?
I got rid of a lot of them because I needed the space, and I'd like to put it back out into the community and people that that I look up to and know, and there's folks that can't get out there and do it. So getting that circulation going back into the community is really cool, because they get to have fun with those too, and create their little artistic stuff, or maybe that's a collector item that they've been looking for, and now it finally came up. It's something that I dug myself. So it's really cool. Hey, so I got something I want to share real quick. It actually came in the mail today. A good friend of mine, Josh Howard, here in Washington. I've known him for more than half of my life. So he went on the crystal mining trips and all that with me. He went on one of them. He's on a vacation over in Hawaii, and he hit me up and he's like, hey, what's your address? Blah, blah, blah. I found something that basically said it needed to go to you. And I was like, oh, okay, well, that's cool. I get friends that send me stuff here and there. And so I was like, oh, cool. I'll check it out. So I get this thing in the mail today, and I'm just kind of blown away. I'm like, oh my gosh. I was like, really, man? Like, really? So I was really stoked that this actually showed up today and I got to see what it was because I wanted to share it with on the podcast since
Oh
we
yeah.
like to do treasures and stuff like that. So here's the 49ers. Deal. Let me see if I can get it in the
Right there.
deal.
Right there. Yep.
Okay, so these are old Liberty nickels.
Wow. Holy crap,
Um,
man.
this the gold one in the middle is from 1909.
Dang.
There's a 1904, 1900, 1903, 1911. You know, these are all early 1900 coins that he found. You know, as part of the 49er
Right.
deal. He found this over in Hawaii. Is out of this place. He goes,
What?
I have to send this to Rick. You know, this is his. You know, so I seen this. I was
I
like,
got
oh my gosh, because I love old history. You know, I love
Yeah.
gold.
Oh
I love
yeah.
minerals.
Wow.
I found some old coins with the metal detector, but you know, I just haven't really adventured too much into it.
That's a phenomenal
But
piece right there.
this is
I got
something, you know,
I
I'm
got I gotta say, when I was over in Hawaii, I decided to go do some antiquing, and yeah, I found some tiger's tongue, which is from the like 13th, 15th century. It's bought,
Jeez.
whatever. But now that that has come up as well, I'm for
yeah,
sure going back to the antique store in Hawaii because
that
who knows who's been
is
there? That's
that is
amazing.
yeah, that is a
yeah.
beautiful
So
piece right
it says the
there.
Liberty nickel designed by Charles Barber in 1883. And it talks, you know, about the California Gold Rush, and these coins were known as the racketeer nickels.
Wow. From the old 49ers. Holy shit. That's an
Yep.
awesome
So
piece right
back
there.
then, they used to be able to trade these, you know, for $5 of gold, or vice versa. Um, so yeah,
No, that's an awesome freaking
just
piece
some.
right there.
These are probably the oldest coins I've got, and I got some pretty old ones. So I think that this is this is
That
awesome.
tops
So
it by far, man.
now I got
That
more
tops it.
stuff to research. You know, I get excited when I get to learn new things. You know, especially
Yeah.
topics that I have interest in. Um, so that was really cool, Josh. You know that was good.
And yeah, and that's the thing too, is like you know, the friends that I've made over the last 3 years with PB and the things that's been sent to me, it just blows my mind. There was a good friend of mine back east. I believe his name's Eric. We haven't spoken the last like 6, 7 months. He operates a dredge over there somewhere, and he does it full time and this, that, and the other. But he's like, "Hey, I got something that I want to send you," and I'm like, "All right, cool, man, send it to me." This rock has to be close to 10, 15 pounds. He spent probably $60, $70 shipping it to me, and it was the rock with the pyrite I was talking about. It's a rock that's probably about this big. I'm actually looking at it, and it has this massive, massive vein of pyrite. And I've never seen pyrite like I've seen this pyrite
Mm.
ever. And it just blew me away. I was just like, I mean, I love minerals and I love gems, and for someone to be able to send something to you and say, "Hey, I thought about you. I think you'd really gonna like this," and when it showed up, yeah, I was gobsmacked. Just the exact same, dude. I was just hair to the back and just blown away. Like, whoa, this is such a cool piece.
Yeah, I pulled it out of the package, and I was like, "Whoa, what?" I didn't realize. It just, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just stood there and stared at it. And, like I
Yeah.
didn't, you know, I had to write them and like come up with actual words because I didn't have anything to say. I didn't even know what happened.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. We have a few more comments, and then we're gonna jump into the last few questions of the evening. We're jumping into 7:30 here, Pacific Standard Time. Mr. Ronnie Shackleford entered the building. What's going on, brother man? From bottom of the pan prospecting.
Oh yeah.
One thing that I did want to do for anybody that doesn't know, Mr. Rick Stash has a TikTok now. That's something that we're going to be running along here soon. It's one of those things that that's pretty enjoyable area to be able to get your content out. And, new prospectors, they use this platform versus this platform. You know how the works go. So for nobody that doesn't know, jump over there, www.tiktok.com/@rickstashmining. Get over there, give him a follow, check his videos out. The guy is funny as hell, and he's very informative, very knowledgeable. So for those that don't know, you see it at the bottom. Go give him a follow. Go give him a like. Definitely hit him up. Instagram. Mr. Rick, you're not on Instagram yet.
Nope, no Instagram.
Get your ass on Instagram. Get your ass on the tube. You got things rocking and rolling here. You got people.
I know. I almost need to find a buddy that can actually do all that technology.
You need me, I got you, my man. You need me, I got you.
So I most of my stuff is on Facebook. Okay, so like my Facebook reels, I got a lot of pictures, videos, stuff like that. This year, my brother-in-law and other friends been bugging me about TikTok. I'm like, I didn't want to do TikTok, but so I did it, and it kind of spreads, a little bit more of what I do. And so I kind of started playing with that a little bit. I do have my YouTube that I started like over a year ago, and I couldn't find it. I haven't hardly done anything with it. I do have a GoPro now, so I'm gonna up the game on that. So my YouTube is gonna be basically completely redone. All I've got is like a couple small videos, nothing too special. But this year it's gonna be packed with what's happening. It's going to be loaded with some really cool content.
I was going to say, people are excited for what you got going on, man. I mean, you created quite the buzz.
Well, I appreciate the support. It's really
PB
hard.
Always loves you, man. PB will always love you and respect you, man, and be there for you and have your back, man. You know that just as well as all of us do.
Yeah, like I said, I really appreciate it. Everybody, even the newcomers, always learning something, always trying to help each other out.
That's what it's about,
like I said,
man.
If I can get you guys to, be better, I can be better. We're better as a team. We need a lot more of us, supporting each other, supporting the communities, being more active, just showing up to a dig. You don't even got to dig, just show up and be supportive.
Show up and bring the beer, or show up and bring the meat, and everybody else will do the digging.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
All right. So one more really good question that I wanted to ask you, and then we'll go ahead and do our quick giveaway. The last question of the night would happen to be, out of all of the moments you've had in the prospecting and mining community, whether it be your best friends, your family, people you just met, folks that you're starting to gain a relationship with, what would you say for 2022 season would be the absolute best highlight / moment you had? He's like, there's tons of them, so just give me one minute.
Last year was really big for me. My biggest moment was when I left this highly political state to go to Montana and actually run things the way that I should be running things. I got to actually go and work. I went to Montana for 10 days mining, and I went out over there with all this information that I've gathered in Washington prospecting, and I pretty much had to throw it into the garbage. Mining in Montana is nothing like Washington. It was a game changer. It made me a better miner. I learned a lot.
That's good.
So pretty much like the big highlight wasn't exactly
he's
it
still
wasn't
he's still
exactly
trying
the
to ponder,
gold.
Eero.
It wasn't exactly the gold. It was being able to go out there and walk the footsteps that these guys did, 100, 120, 150 years ago. Still being able to find gold, but my fiance and my daughter was there with me. When I was in that hole digging and I was packing buckets out, you know, my daughter, uh, helped out and she got to run the high banker, and you know, she did really, really awesome. Those guys really had my back, and we pushed a lot of material. So just, you know, being able to see, everything come together and look over and see, my daughter's running the high banker. My fiance, she's moving buckets or moving rocks or, you know, doing her thing, keeping things going. It was really huge for me to, be able to experience what I did in Montana, with my family. And a lot of people
It's
don't
huge.
get to do that.
Yeah, it's huge, man.
So,
It's big.
and then when I got to get up there and jump on Robert's 4-inch dredge for a couple hours, I was in hog heaven. I
Mr.
was like,
Virgits.
I didn't want to
Mr.
leave.
Virgits.
I didn't want to leave at all. I was like, yeah, honey, just go home. I'll be okay. I wasn't done. I didn't. I was like, I didn't want to be done with my 10 days. You know,
Yeah, it goes
I
too
instantly
quick.
just
Always
wanted to
does.
go back.
Yeah, always does. Yeah, we got one more thing I forgot to mention. I'll go ahead and just break it down real quick. The whole Republic Washington $3 billion rumor.
Yeah.
That is actually, I got a good friend of mine that I've been friends with for quite a while that actually lived in Republic for many years, and that discovery is nothing new.
No, it's not.
It just didn't get the social media coverage that it is getting now.
It
And there's a
popped
lot.
up, what, 4 years ago?
Yeah, I knew about this several years ago. I've
Yeah,
got buddies that have
yeah,
claims and mines, and my buddy's daughter works for an assay company. I
yep,
I I know Lauren Culp. Lauren Culp talked about his family mining over there.
yeah, yep, yep,
It's
yep.
that's old news.
It's nothing. Yeah, it's nothing new. And the way that things are set up with A, who discovered it, and B, where it's at, it's not going to happen. And if it does, we're probably not going to see it for many, many years. It's going to be tucked under a rug for many years after that. So, just to answer that quick question, yeah, we're not going to see anything anytime soon coming out of that area.
Yeah.
Um,
So let me
yeah,
say
go
something
for
real
it.
quick with that.
Yep.
So this whole thing with the Canadian company coming down and wanting to mine that. Okay, so yeah, it's gonna take a long time. That may take 40 years before they are even able to move
Yeah.
material. Um, the last time that I know where a Canadian company came up and actually got to mine like what they want to do there,
Yeah.
um, was a very, very long time ago. And that area is no longer able to be mined. And that was Ruby Mountain above Ross Lake. They came in, they removed almost everything and had to pack it back up to Canada. And when they were done, the state closed it off and there was no more. But if for any reason they did okay for them to do that, we're going to have one hell of a fight on our hands, because us miners and prospectors in Washington, we're going to have an issue with that, because if they're allowed to come here and mine our grounds, then why won't they give us the okay for our HPAs and our permits to mine the stuff?
Yeah, the legal access. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. No, I
All
agree.
about the money.
Yeah.
That's what
It's
it
all
boils
about
down
the
to.
money.
Yeah, that's what it boils down to. We have one last question here. After this one, we're gonna go ahead and do the giveaway. James Booth, man, I didn't forget about you, my dude. He says, what would be a good angle for a high banker? So I'll go ahead and chime in my little 2 cents. I'm going to give Rick his 2 cents, and then we're going to toss it over to Eero and let him give his 2 cents. As far as what angle to run your high banker, there's more variables than a simple angle for what you're doing, right? We're talking about matting. We're talking about water. The size pump you're running, we're talking, there's multiple different aspects that run into what angle do I run my high banker. So I'll give you 2 good examples. I ran my high banker at one specific area. I was running it at a 7 to 8 and was doing really good with the type of matting I had. Different area, different material, more sharper material, wasn't clearing out as well. I popped it up to a 9 to 10. And it flushed out that sharper material very quickly and very easily. Same pump size, same high banker, just different material. So, we could probably talk about, that kind of stuff on a different podcast and kind of get more specific. But it depends on your matting. It depends on your pump. It depends on the material you're running.
Yep.
Rick, I'm going to send it your way, man.
So me basically by experience, I've mentioned I test a lot of this stuff in a kind of a prefabbed environment. Like I said, I've got these big containers, for water and stuff, so I can run big pumps, blah blah blah. So it's gonna change. So in a controlled environment, it's going to run a lot different than in the field. Like over here on the West Coast, our material is going to be a lot different than say like Montana or farther east or up in Canada. They're going to have a lot heavier flat rocks. We don't have those rocks. We have the square purple rocks. We've got the round rocks. And so I would basically just set it up, turn that pump on. I would start steep and then back it down until you can make sure that your rocks and material are going through. You don't want it to overburden or clog up. But for an angle, I would say, start at probably a 9 or so, kind of, so you can go up or down. It really depends on what you have in your box and how you're running it.
Work your way down, work your way down from a 9 or a 10 and go down to whatever, it depends on the mat as well. If you have a specific mat that clears out very easily with this type of material, or this mat that clears out very easily with this type of material, you're going to know your mat and your angle very well with this comment right here. Let's see, right here. Boom. Depends on what dirt you're running. Clay, rock, and sand. Pan your tailings to find the angle. That's the reality of it. If you're catching gold and you have nothing or very, very, very little in your tailings, well, guess what? You're at the right angle. If you're losing gold out the box, well, that means you're not at the right angle, and your cells or your matting is not clearing out properly. So it all there's so much that boils down to what angle you need to be running. It's all about testing your tailings. It's huge.
Yep.
Eero, you want to go ahead and put your 2 cents in real quick as well?
And as I was saying earlier, as a beginning prospector, it's good to play with all the different styles of catch systems so that you can begin to understand the different ways that these low pressure zones are created. And once you start to understand that, you're more or less just looking at the box and looking how your material's exchanging and adjusting to that. So there's no specific angle. I will say that a few years ago, I did a fair amount of high banking with Gold Hog and a fair amount of high banking with Dream Mount. And Gold Hog's a wonderful mat. It works. It works very well, but it's very finicky. So you've got to get it set up just right, or you're going to start losing at least a little bit of gold. When I was doing it with Dream Mat, that part kind of went away. So it works. That's all I can say. We set it up the first time at almost 14 degrees, ran 5 buckets, and then tested the tailings and one spec.
14 is steep as shit, and if you're still catching gold on 14, that means it's a good mat.
We just set it up and was like, all right, let's see what it does, and we're like, don't touch anything. You can see it in the mat with no heavies around it. So but just just learn how material exchanges and what to look for, and your angle of what you're running will evolve.
I agree.
The more time you can get out there and run your equipment, the better you're going to become with your equipment. So if you go out there a few times and you're like, well, I'm not really catching that much gold. It's either you're not putting it in the box or there's something going on. So it's most of the time it's the little things that guys overlook.
And like I said, Gold Hog works great. I have Talon mat. I have a few other different mats besides Talon that I comboed up, and with my time running it, like Eero said, it's finicky, but it does a good job if you have it set right. That's the reality of it. With Dream Mat, it's less finicky, but it all depends. There's so many variables to it. You can't sit here and point a finger on it and say this does this for all areas in the United States or in Canada or wherever you may be. That's not the way it works. It's whatever works for the material you have, the pump you have, the box you have. There's variables to it. And if any of you guys kind of need to understand more of that and more in depth, there's many people in the PB family to reach out to. We're talking guys that have bought it all. Miner's Rule, fine example. Example. Reach out to him. He is a phenomenal guy. He will tell you the truth and nothing but the truth with anything and everything. So if any of you guys have problems where you guys are having a situation where you can't set things up properly and you're not catching your gold, reach out to anyone in the PB family. Make a post on the PB Facebook page, and you're going to have so many guys and gals telling you, hey, try this, hey, try that you'll know what to do very quickly. And
you can also reach out. You can also reach out to like say if you're running Dream Mats. David from Dream Mat is really great about getting back to his people, answering the questions, and he is straightforward. He will not bullshit you one bit. He'll send you the videos. His suggestions. He's the creator. He understands everything about it. He created this, and it's just based off of his design. So he knows exactly how it runs. So everything that we're experiencing, he already done experience a long time ago.
Testing trial and error. And that's the thing, even besides Dream Mat, I mean, I love Dave and Tim. Even besides Dream Mat, if you have Gold Hog, if you have any other products out there that you guys are having problems with, don't hesitate. Make a post. Don't be scared to post. I mean, we manage PB and make sure that people are not being disrespectful. That's what the PB family is all about, is making sure people are educated with the equipment they have and the material they're running. And if you have any questions, hits, runs, errors, concerns, whatever the case may be, don't hesitate. Make a post, reach out to any one of us, and we'll get you on the right track ASAP and get you finding the gold. That's for damn sure. Aside from that, let's go ahead and do the giveaway real quick. And then I think we'll cut it and call it a night. What do you guys think?
That's good. I have one announcement after that.
Oh, you got an announcement. Well, why don't we do the announcement before versus after?
Okay, whatever. I don't care.
I'm putting him on the spot.
Oh, it's not on the spot. I just want to, I don't know. I don't think Rick mentioned it, but I wanted to bring up there's a gold show here in a week or so. It is February 18th and 19th in Monroe, Washington at the Evergreen State Fairgrounds. It's $5 admission, 13 and under for free. So if you're in the PNW, come on over. There'll be panning booths to learn how to pan, and a lot of vendors and some pretty good surprise guests if you watch some of the shows. So also Wasp Mag, which is Dennis Peterson's group that is fighting for our mining rights here in Washington, is going to be there, and that is strictly a donation-based organization. So if you want to help us out here in Washington, please come to the show and put some money in. We appreciate it.
Yeah, there'll be several clubs there. There'll be, like I said, there's crystals. There's a variety of everything having to do with mining, prospecting, rocks, gems. Everything's gonna be there. So it's very family friendly. My daughter lives running around through there. There's, like you mentioned, there's gonna be several surprise guests that's gonna be there, and all about it by watching, our shows here. It's somewhere that you want to be the 18th and 19th of this month.
With that being said, Eero, you gonna come pick me up since my truck broke down?
Oh yeah, I'll just run right over. I'll just right over. No problem. We're going to the gold show this weekend. It's a 14-hour drive.
Yeah, exactly. Chris Hayes, my man, let's go. You got a vehicle. I got gas money. Let's go. Don't give me no bull crap either. Let's go.
Jaron knows the rules of the road too, buddy.
Yeah. I learned them very quickly. That's for damn sure. Anyways, with that being said, we got something from the creators of Dream Mat. Very awesome people. Dave Peterson, Tim Peterson. They sent over some goodies. I'm holding off on a couple of the goodies. I'm going to give something simple and easy away. And I'm pretty sure Rick actually done something pretty phenomenal on his live that made someone pretty stoked. So with that being said, let's go ahead and give this away real quick, and we'll call it good. So before I show exactly what it is, everybody that's watching right now, the 50 folks that are watching, go ahead and put a wait, how did I do this last time? Because last time I royally missed. Put your name in the comments. Put your own name in the comments. Put it in once. You put it in twice, automatically denied from the giveaway. Put your name in the comments. I'm going to go ahead and start adding them to the name wheel. We'll get that name wheel spun, and we'll get this thing sent to you ASAP. So from here on out, Don just started it. Let's go. Eero, if you want to do me a favor and give me the name so I can start popping them in, we can get this thing rocking and rolling for the evening.
All right, we got Don Wendt.
Got it.
Michael Crawford.
Got it.
Dan Brown.
Got it.
Chad McClaskey.
Got it. No,
Cliff
hold on.
Sommer.
Let me go. Okay, now I got it.
Cliff Sommer. Sommer.
Hold on. First name and last?
Cliff Sommer.
Okay. Sommer.
Clifton.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Rusty Creed.
Rusty Creed. Good to freaking hear from you, man, or see you. Next.
Leo Whitting.
Leo Whitting. Got it.
Ed Marvin.
Mr. Ed Marvin. Mr. Ed. Shout out to Mr. Ed Marvin. Oh my gosh, good to freaking see him in the building. What's up, Mr. Ed?
Yeah.
All right, who
Doug
else we
Brown.
got?
Doug Brown.
Doug Brown. Who else we got?
Joe Hutchison.
Joe, Mr. Joe. All right. Who else we got?
Fred Messimer.
Mr. Fred. We got to go out digging again, man. You and your dad. Who else we got?
Tony Welch.
Mr. Tony Welch. Ain't heard from him in a little while. What's up, Tony? Who else we got?
We got Jeff King, and he also put down Dave and Tim Rock. What's up, Jeff?
Mr. Jeff. Mr. Badass Jeff. Jeez Louise. Always.
You guys got to watch his. You got to watch his stuff. He gets some amazing gold.
He does. He does.
That's a good job, buddy.
All right. Who else we got? We got
Nicholas
Jeff King.
Lewis.
We got Jeff King. Who's after Jeff King?
Dave and Tim Rock.
Yeah, but
Dave and Tim Rock. Got it.
Nicholas Lewis.
Nicholas Lewis. What's up, brother? Who else we got?
Jeremiah Framstad.
Ooh, Mr. Jeremiah. What's up, brother, man?
yeah, he's up here next to my territory.
Yes, sir. Who else we got?
Chris Tinsley.
Last name, spell it.
Tinsley.
Got it.
It's Inslee with a T.
Okay, you got it. Yep. What's next?
J Army with an EY.
Okay, J R.
Nice. Good to see you, Jay.
Who else we got?
Daniel
What up, J-Man?
Baker.
Sorry, what?
Daniel Baker.
Daniel Baker in the building. Who else we got?
Mark Wakefield.
Mr. Mark. Who else we got?
Colin Pride.
Colin Pratt.
Nice.
Who else we got?
Christopher Cardenas.
Christopher Cardenas. Spell it.
Cardenas.
See what I did here, guys? I passed off the name pronunciations to my co-host.
Yeah, that's so we don't run into Terry FIFA.
All right, who's next?
Did we say Tony Welch?
Maybe. Yep, already got Tony Welch.
All right, Scott Peterson.
Scott Peterson, what up, Scott? Who else we got?
Jason AU Colorado. What's up, Jason?
Mr.
Oh, yeah.
AU.
Thanks for
What's
watching,
up,
buddy?
brother, man?
We got Chris Seebold, SEE Bold.
Chris Seebold, SC. Oh my gosh.
SEE Bold. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why I'm doing it.
Why. Yeah, that's why I don't pronounce the names anymore. All right, who else we got?
Brianna Sprinkle.
Brianna Sprinkle.
Yep.
All right. Who else we got?
We'll go ahead and put a Reed Martyr in it. Martyr.
A Reed. How do we spell that?
REID.
REID. What's the last name?
MARTYR.
MARTYR. She says, "What's going on here?" Or he. Excuse me. Sorry, I can't see the little logo. He's like, "What's going on here? We're doing a giveaway, and you just got entered." All right. Who else we got?
Reed's down in Australia watching. What's up, buddy?
Who else we got? James Booth. He says, "Pass right by me." James, I got you, bro. I got you. All right, who else we got here?
Elijah Adelsberger. So Elijah and then Adelsberger.
Adelsberger. Look who else we got in here. Kimberly. What's going on, Kimberly? Jump on the very end of the podcast. Jeez Louise. In fact, we're waiting for you to jump on the podcast. All right, who else we got?
Steve Lemley. Lemley.
Lemley. He says, "I'm a dude, lads." Well, Reed, it's good to have you, my brother. All right, who else we got?
Let's see.
Cricket Hooks.
Are you gonna put Kimberly in?
Well, obviously. Let's see. Kimberly, I got you. You're in there like swimmer. Who else we got? Michael Villarreal. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm done pronouncing the names. Eero, keep going.
Shane French Schmidt. That's no excuse. You live in Washington, man. You should be able to pronounce just about anything.
What? How do you spell Shane's last name real quick?
Schmidt.
Oh, okay.
It's Shauna Schmidt. Yes, but it's Shauna, not Shane. Excuse me.
Oh, geez. See, you're doing worse than I was. Shauna.
Yeah, I misread. I didn't butcher.
Yeah, I agree. Who else we got?
I'm looking. You got James Booth. Did you get Jeremy Proctor?
I did not. Mr. Jeremy in the building. There we go. All right. Are we good? Are we ready to spin this damn thing or what?
Let's do Cricket Hooks.
I got him in there.
Jonathan Flint.
I didn't get that one in there. What's going on, cousin? Let's see. THONFLINT. Who else we got?
Steve Taro.
Steve.
Watching from Arizona.
Taro. It's funny. Tina Williams like, you guys got this. We're trying our little hearts out. It's been a while since we did a giveaway. Who else we got?
Okay, gonna try not butcher this one. Michael. Oh, is this the Michael Villarreal?
Yeah, I got him.
Okay.
We got Carla. We got you in there. We got
Ray
you
Martinez.
in there,
Ray Martinez.
Martinez. Got him in there. Who else we
Glenn
got?
Silva.
Glenn, Mr. Glenn, man. You've been kind of quiet on social media, big dog. How you been, man?
We got Carla Coleman Clapper.
Yep. Got him in there.
All right. You got Tina, Jonathan Flint.
Yep, got him in there.
That's all I got.
That's all she wrote. All right, let's do it to it then, right?
Yep.
All right, let's get a drum roll. Let's get a drum roll. Tony Wells says, you can do it. Yeah, it's been a little while. Drum roll, drum roll, drum roll. All right, let's see. Wow, tons of names here. Let's rock. Let's do it to it. Steve Taro. Or Tiro, sorry. Jeez Louise. Steve Taro, you're the winner. You are the winner, man. So let me jump back over here.
Congratulations, buddy.
Guess what you just won? A new adventure sluice. And you got yourself a little sticker from Mr. Dave and Tim themselves. Ba-ba-da-ba! Yeah, man. Drop this thing in the creek. Give it to a kiddo, nephew, niece, son, daughter. Drop it in the creek. Catch some gold, man. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Hey, do you still have the names up on for the giveaway?
I do.
Well,
I do.
Let me give away some crystals.
Oh,
So
sweeten the pot, ladies and gentlemen.
So there's this little cluster here. I'm gonna do it.
Ooh,
We
that's
got
a nice
one, and I have several that I'm gonna put in the same package. That are big crystals.
L to the
Nice.
So
Z.
these are ones that I dug and packed out long ways.
Yeah.
So I've got some really neat ones in the shop. So I'm gonna get whatever I can get inside one of them boxes and send it out to whoever that wins.
Hell yeah, brother man. All right, let's go ahead and get let's see. Rob says, did you get YouTube names? Yes, we did. We got Greg. No, we didn't get them. Nope. Uh-oh. Wow. All right,
yeah,
well,
you're gonna
guess
have to do the YouTube. You're gonna have to do the YouTube.
No, that's
ones.
perfectly fine. I'll go ahead. Okay, in fact, this is what we'll do. Now I feel bad. Now I feel really bad. Uh-oh. So not only are we giving away one of those, we're gonna give away two of those and the crystals for this giveaway. By golly.
Boom.
Let's make it fair. Let's make it fair, shall we?
Boom.
Let's make it fair.
This is getting interesting.
Getting crazy. Let's see here. So everybody on YouTube, real quick, go ahead and pop your name in there right after Mr. Jim. I'm gonna throw your names in there, and then we'll get this wheel of spinning. Let's see. Jim McIntyre, I got you in, brother man. Waiting for those comments to flood in. Greg Ross, I got you. Let's see who else we got here in the building. Mr. Kent Dowd. Can't forget about Mr. Kent. Mr. Ed Marvin, got you. Let's see. Mr. Ronnie Shackleford. Can't forget about you, man. Let's see who else we got here in the building. Dun, dun, dun. All right. I think, oh no, we got Evergreen Prospectors. Let me get you in there, man. How did we miss that one? Jeez, Eero. Can't believe it, man. Not keeping me in my game. What's going on here? Little rusty. We're getting back into the swing of things, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's see here. I think we're good to go. Yeah, I don't see anybody else in the comments. Yep, perfect. Here we go. All right, so let's get a drum roll, please. Drum roll, everybody. Kimberly, I got you in there. All right, here we go. This is for the crystal package from Mr. Rick Stash. It's going to be Cricket Hooks.
Cricket hooks.
Oh,
Cricket Hooks.
Right
in the
on. That's
building.
cool.
Nice. Yeah, these are Washington crystals here. They're quartz crystals. I'll make sure that there's a few of those little green rays that are in them. You're really gonna like these ones. These are unique.
Definitely cool.
Good
They are
deal.
cool. And if you're lucky, I might throw in a little amethyst one in there too.
Do I get to enter my name in the damn giveaway for the crystals? What's going on here? Like, how am I not getting any of those?
I'll have to send you a little care package there, Jaron. After my hat shows up.
I agree. No, I cut out your tracking number. I just ain't even fucking mailed the box out yet. Anyways, who said that? Jeremy Proctor. Need that sweatshirt. www.prospectingbuddy.org. Anywho. Yeah, these are going okay. Cricket says, Rick, I'll shoot you a message. My wife said thanks for the amethyst.
Right on.
Awesome. All right, one last giveaway, and then we're going to get the hell out of here so I can go to bed, Rick can go to bed, Eero can go to bed, and the rest of you guys can go to bed as well. Unless you're in New Zealand, then you're probably getting ready to go prospect.
Jeff.
Mr. Jeff. Anyways, so we're going to do one more of these bad boys real quick. Let's do it to it. Let's get a drum roll, please. Drum roll in the comments. Come on, let me see one of them bad boys. Let's go. All right, wheel is a spinning, and it is going to be dun 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 dun. Nicholas Lewis.
Woo!
Nicholas Lewis. Make sure you send a message to me or Eero or any one of the mods. He says,
send it to Jared because he's the one that's going to be mailing it.
So for the winners that won, make sure you guys send me your address. That way I can get these bad boys sent out to you. Rick, hopefully just let me know they send the address your way.
Yep.
If not,
I just seen the message come in. So
money.
I'll be in contact with him and yep.
Good freaking deal. Rick, with that being said, man, I appreciate you jumping on the podcast. I really freaking do, dude.
Okay. Anytime, man.
And I pray that this season I can come over and buy you a fat burger or something and just bullshit with you, man. We don't even got to go dig. I just like to hang out with you, see what you're all about. And
we're going to go dig.
Have some fun.
We'll go dig. You could talk.
Yeah. You could cook the burgers while we're digging.
Yeah.
No. All right. With that being said, everybody that jumped on this evening, I appreciate you jumping on the podcast. Like I said, we're going to be kicking things off a little bit differently. Some fun giveaways. We're going to have announcements, updates, newsletter. We're going to be officially for sure 100% kicking off first of the month every single month. It's going to have people in the PB family that's going to be highlighted in that email. If you're not subscribed to our website, once again, www.prospectingbuddy.org. Not hard. Jump on there, sign up, log in. The second you log in and you're signed up, you get the newsletter every single month, first of the month. So with that being said, I hope every single one of you have a phenomenal night. Rick, I appreciate you jumping on, brother man.
Thanks for having me.
Don't forget, not next Thursday, but the Thursday after, we have another phenomenal guest, just like the badass right here. So make sure you get tuned in for the podcast. Not next Thursday, the Thursday after, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. With that being said, y'all have a good night. Later.
Later. Thanks for watching.